If you've been scrolling through endless lists of portable speakers, weighing Bluetooth versus Wi-Fi, matte black versus brushed metal, and still feel like you're missing that one clear answer, this review is going to clear that up. I've spent a few weeks testing the Devialet Mania in a handful of everyday scenarios, on a balcony for a sunset dinner, in a small home office while I'm on Zoom, and even on a weekend hike where the weather decided to throw a light drizzle. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about the hesitation most people feel when they see a premium name like Devialet attached to a portable speaker. The brand is famous for high-end home audio, so the instinct is to wonder if the Mania is trying to be everything at once: a party-ready bass machine, a subtle background companion, and a rugged outdoor companion. That's a lot to ask of a single unit, and the risk is ending up with a product that's good at none of those things. My goal here is to break down exactly where the Mania hits the mark, where it falls short, and who will actually benefit from spending a bit more on this particular model. When I first turned it on, the most noticeable thing was the way the sound filled the room. The premium compact sound claim isn't just marketing jargon. The mids are clear enough that you can hear every nuance of an acoustic guitar, while the low end has enough weight to make a hip-hop beat feel solid without turning the whole speaker into a rattling box. I tested it next to a couple of cheaper Bluetooth speakers that advertise deep bass and found the Mania's bass more controlled, not just louder. That control matters if you're listening at lower volumes in a kitchen or a bedroom. The bass stays tight instead of muddying the rest of the mix. The next practical test was connectivity. Switching between Wi-Fi for a multi-room setup and Bluetooth for quick phone streaming is supposed to be smooth, and in real life that means you don't have to fumble with the app every time you want to change sources. I started a Spotify playlist over Wi-Fi in my living room, then walked to the balcony with my phone, tapped the Bluetooth icon, and the Mania instantly dropped the Wi-Fi stream and picked up my phone's playback without any audible gap. In the opposite direction, Bluetooth playing a podcast while I was on a conference call dropping back to Wi-Fi was just as seamless. That kind of fluidity is rare in portable speakers that usually force you to pick one protocol and stick with it. Durability is another factor that shows up when you think about taking a speaker outside. The IPX4 splash-resistant rating means the Mania can handle a sudden sprinkle or a sweaty workout without panicking. I placed it on a small patio table during a light rain shower, and while the water didn't soak into the internals, the speaker's surface stayed dry enough to keep the sound clear. That doesn't make it a waterproof device you can toss into a pool, but for the occasional drizzle or a sweaty commute, it's reassuring. The build feels solid, with a matte finish that resists fingerprints, which is a small but nice convenience when you're constantly handling it. Now let's talk about the hidden trade-offs that become obvious after a few days of use. First, the battery life. Devialet lists a decent runtime, but in my tests the Mania gave me around 6.5 hours of continuous playback at 70% volume before the indicator turned amber. That's fine for a dinner party or a half-day outing, but if you're looking for a speaker that can run an entire day of outdoor activities on a single charge, you might need to bring a power bank. Second, the size. It's compact, but the base is a bit wider than some ultra-portable competitors, meaning it doesn't slip easily into a small backpack. If you travel light and need something that fits in a pocket, you'll notice the difference. Finally, the price point. The Mania sits in the upper mid-range for portable speakers, reflecting the Devialet brand and the adaptive sound processing inside. It's not cheap, and that price makes you wonder whether the audio improvements are enough to justify the spend over a more budget-friendly option. So, who should buy the Devialet Mania? If you already have a decent Bluetooth speaker and are looking for an upgrade that brings a richer, more balanced sound without sacrificing the convenience of wireless switching, the Mania is a solid step up. It's especially appealing for people who value audio fidelity in a portable form. Think audiophiles who enjoy vinyl-like detail on the go, or creators who need a reliable reference speaker while filming outdoor scenes. The adaptive sound technology automatically tunes the output to the room's acoustics, which means you won't have to spend time tweaking EQ settings every time you move the speaker from a kitchen counter to a garden table. That hands-off approach is a real time saver for